Hi, my name is Marcus and welcome back to my channel. On my channel, I like to give tips and inspirational tips for my 40 and over men out there. Today's video is going to be about at-home shaving, do-it-yourself shaving, if you will. I'm going to be shaving my head because I'm bald, obviously, and I'm also going to be doing my beard, doing a shape up and a line up. You don't have to be a professional barber in order to do this, but it does help if you have some kind of background in art. If you're artistic and you know how to shape up and even things out, it really does help. You don't have to be an art major or anything like that, but it helps when you're doing your measuring and all of that, because many times a person's face isn't symmetrical on both sides. By symmetrical, I mean from nose to the left, from nose to the right. If you divide your face in half, is it exactly equal to the other side? And even if it isn't exactly equal to the other side, you still want to be able to make your lineups and everything as identical to the other side as possible. And so it really helps if you have some kind of experience drawing or whatever to get your stuff shaped up right, because you don't want to mess up your beard or whatever. Then you end up having to cut the whole thing off. But anyway, I want to start by saying get yourself a style avatar. Get yourself a style avatar. This is a tip I picked up from Jeff the Style OG. Jeff is he's also a person on YouTube, an influencer, if you will, who gives tips to 40-plus-year-old men. He gives a lot of great tips about dress, style, relationships, colognes. I mean, different things. You know, he's a person that I subscribe to on YouTube, and I encourage all of my 40-year-old plus men out there to follow him as well. So shout out to Jeff the Style OG. Now getting back to the style avatar, my style avatar for this video is Omari Hardwick. Shout out to Omari Hardwick out there doing his thing. A former athlete, actor, poet, and he was acting in a series called Power, in which he had a beard, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like the way he had his beard, so I'm gonna try to shape up my beard in the way that he had it. Okay, and that's what I mean by a style avatar. A style avatar is someone or a picture or something you can look at and say, hey, I like that style. I'm gonna try to simulate that style. I'm gonna try to copy that style for myself. And so that's all a style avatar is. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the ways that we can cut and shape up our beards. Okay, so if you see right here, I took a still shot of my face here, and there, if you see where I'm drawing this line right here, now you can cut your beard, or I can cut my beard where it's a straight line down to my mouth, or the side of my mouth here, and then I can cut a straight line down the back right there and even it out with a straight line right here. This is kind of like a triangular formation. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not what's in the style avatar. The style avatar, he had more of a curved. Hold on, let me change this from black to white so you can see it better. Hang on a second. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so you can see where I'm drawing a line. And so I had it like that before. I had it where it was straight down. And so this time I want to curve it a little bit to make it a little bit more curved with my face. I find that if you're a thicker person, then curve look better. I mean, it might just be my face, I don't know, but curve look, more natural to the face than straight up and down. Slimmer guys they look better to me with that straight triangular look. And so I'm gonna try to curve mine because I'm a little bit bigger guy, and so I'm messing my lines up here. But you can see how I'm trying to make it curved. So I'm trying to curve the what is that? I think that's concave when it curves inward. So I'll make it concave, and then at the bottom I'll make it convex, or I might be getting those mixed up, but you know what I mean. One curves in, one curves out. The bottom is curving out, the jawline is curving in, and the back of the jawline is curving in. And so I'm gonna try to achieve that, and let me show you what it looks like on Amari Hardwick. So we're gonna be trying to achieve. Check out this picture here. Yeah, you can see right here where it's curving down towards his jaw, and then right here by the ear, the back of the beard right here is curving right there by his ear, and then down at the bottom right there it's curving up under his chin. Now some people like to cut the hair on the bottom of the neck. I like to leave mine there like he's got his here. I cut it up to where about where it is right there, but right up under the chin, up under the neck, I leave that hair there just like he got it here. I don't like the, you know, to me it makes the beard look fuller if you leave the hair under there versus cutting it out. But you know, hey, that's just me. I'm just playing around with some lines right here. And so let me cut away here. All right, so first thing I do, as you can see, I'm combing it out. The reason you combing it out so that your hair is standing up. You wanna, when you trim your beard down, you want to get it to the length that you want it to be at, and so you comb it out, because if you brush it down, it's gonna lay down, and you won't get those hairs that's laying down. So combed it out. Now hang on a second. Okay, so I'm gonna speed up right here, speed up the video, because it's just me make some adjustments, putting all my stuff together, find them a little barber cape. Gonna put that on, and also when I trim, I'm going to use the biggest guard that came with my trimmers, which is the 1, I believe. Hang on a sec. Nah, I'm sorry, scratch that. It's a 3/8. I just went and checked. It's a 3/8 or the 9mm, and so that's the biggest one that came with mine. And so I'm gonna try to keep my my hair about that length, which is about the same length it is now. So I'm really just gonna be getting those little straight hairs that are sticking out. And so as you can see, I'm trimming it. I'm just going back and forth, getting everything. And you can go over that liberally, you know, depending on, like I say, depending on how long you want your beard. And so, like I said, I'm going for the Amari Hardwick look, and that's about the length I think it is. So let me fast forward to the next step. And also, before I get too far in, let me give a shout out to Andis Clippers. Andis is the brand of clippers I'm using. I'm using their trimmers to do everything. They have all kind of trimmers. They got T-liners, they have fade clippers. I'm using the regular trimmers you can find at your beauty supply store. And so shout out to Andis. And okay, getting to my next step. In this step, this is a step that a lot of barbers use. This is where I take an eyebrow pencil. You can find an eyebrow pencil at any beauty supply store, Walmart, wherever. And I draw my lines ahead of time. Some people draw their lines after they start cutting. I draw my lines ahead of time, because if you've been cutting hair for a while, you'll know that wherever you line your hair at, the hair gets thinner right at that line spot. And so the next time that you come along, if you want to get your hairline darker, your tendency is to start cutting it down or cutting it back where the hair is darker, and you're trying to establish that line. But if you draw your line ahead of time where you want your beard, then you won't cut past that line. Hopefully you won't cut past the line that you drew. And so you won't be cutting down into that area that you know, because after you finish your cut, you'll be looking like, man, I cut that down too far, or man, I cut my hairline back too far. That's why me personally, I draw my lines ahead of time. So as you can see right here, I'm drawing my on the side of my face how I want my beard to look. And also the good thing about using the eyebrow pencil first and drawing your line first is if you mess up, you can just wipe it off and redraw it. But see, if you start cutting first, you can't put that hair back on your face. That hair is gone, buddy. You're gonna have to either cut your beard down on your other jaw to match that, or if you're doing your hairline, you're gonna have to cut the other side of your hairline back to match that, or you're gonna have to make the sacrifice and cut it all off, you know, and let it grow back and start over. And so that's my recommendation. Draw your lines first to where you want your beard to be and how you want your beard or your hairline to be shaped, and then start cutting. Because like I said, you can always go back and redraw your line. You can't go back and regrow their hair. You're just gonna have to, you know, wait till the next time. And so as you can see, I'm drawing it curved down. And actually on my avatar's picture, he has his closer to the mouth area where his mouth begins at the corners. I'm probably gonna let my hair grow and do that next time. But for now, it's a little bit lower than where my mouth starts at. And so that's fine, you know. So let me fast forward through this part so you can see what the finished product look like after I draw all my lines. Hang on here, let me see. Okay, so this is what the finished product looks like after I draw my lines on. I tried to get that side even with the other side. You see how I did around the mouth there. I didn't do much around the mouth area. It's mainly just my jaw. So I'm trying to get one side to match the other side, basically. And so go back and forth looking at my curve. And so that's basically how I want my curve of the jaw to go. And so now I can go in with my clippers and start cutting the hair and just follow that line, basically. Okay, so here I'm gonna speed the video up because it's just me cutting the hair and following the lines that I drew. Okay, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna give you a few tips about on your skincare as far as shaving goes. The skin on your neck, or at least let me speak for myself, the skin on my neck is different than the skin on other parts of my body and face. For instance, I cannot use a razor on my neck or the back of my neck. Okay, as you can see, I'm using the clippers on the back of my neck. Now the clippers will get the hair, you know, pretty low, but it won't get it as bald as it would be if I were to use a razor, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be completely bald. You know, who's checking for that anyway? If somebody getting that close to your neck, looking at your neck, saying you didn't shave it, then you know they're worried about the wrong thing anyway. But on the back of my neck, I use my clippers, and under my neck, I use my clippers because I can't use a razor down there. I'll bump up real bad, and I have ingrown hairs, and it's just an ugly mess. And so I cut different parts of my skin with different techniques. Okay, and so another thing about lining yourself up, be careful when you have clippers, especially brand new clippers. Your brand new clippers will cut you, and so you know you just want to lightly tap, you know, and be careful on those areas where you're constantly going over and over them, because you may not cut those areas, but constantly irritating that skin, you'll end up blistering up. At least I will. And so those are a couple of tips I use when I'm cutting. And so I try not to keep going over the same area and over again. And if I know I'll be going over an area over and over again, I'm gonna cut lightly. I'm gonna tread lightly because I don't want that to puss up and bump up right there. And so right now, you can see I'm just lining it up. I'm going back and forth, looking in the mirror, checking to see if it's even. And you know, right now I'm just lining it up with the clippers. And so like I said, I'm going to fast forward through this part to get to the next part. Oh, and one more thing about skincare. Drink plenty of water. Water helps. People don't, you know, people think that's just a myth or whatever. It helps me. It helps me. When I had bad acne and all those things growing up, I wasn't drinking enough water. And I didn't find that out till I got grown. I was like, you know what, man, let me try drinking this water, whatever. And I started drinking water, and my skin is clearer now than it's ever been. And so, hey, drink plenty of water. That helps. Drinking all those soda pops or other things that people drink is just not good for your skin. All right, so let me fast forward to this part. Okay, now I'm at the razor part. Let me apologize if the lighting is kind of dark. I'm gonna try to lighten it up and when I do the edits. But anyhow, before I get to shaping up my line with a razor, this is where I start applying Magic Shave Cream for bald heads. I put this on while I'm putting Vaseline around my lineup area. I leave this on my head for about 5 minutes. It will soften the hair. It won't completely remove the hair because I have very coarse hair. And so then I can come back with my electric trimmers, and then I can finish it off with a razor. And there's actually 3 methods to balding my head because I'm light skinned. The hair that's left still looks dark on my head, and I try to get as much of that as possible so that it matches the skin around it. So that's why I use these 3 methods to try to get as much of that hair off my head as possible. All right, let me fast forward through this part. Okay, so I'm using a straight razor here, and of course a straight razor is just as sharp as a new pair of clippers. A straight razor isn't necessary. You don't have to use a straight razor. I just use a straight razor to make the area as clean as possible, get as much of the hair as possible. And be careful with a straight razor. You keep it at a 45-degree angle and stretch your skin as you cut with it. You also don't have to apply the Vaseline. I apply Vaseline just so that it glides smoothly. You can dry cut with a straight razor, but I pull my skin down and I go against the grain as I use my straight razor. Like I say, just to get that line as clean as possible so that it pops, because the hair is already thin around the lining area. And so if I get as much hair cleaned up around the line as possible, it makes it pop, especially on someone light skinned like me. Above my lip, I'm using just a 4-blade razor. I think it's Gillette or something. And so I don't use a straight razor above my lip. I can use a straight razor above my lip. I just don't. It's just easier just to grab the blade razor and do that part. And so okay, once I'm happy with the lining up using the razor, then about 5 minutes has passed. I get ready to remove the shaving cream from my head, the hair removal cream from my head. Also, you probably ought to set a timer for that because you don't want to leave it on too long to where to start burning your skin. I just know about what time, I need to start removing. I can feel it, but I still set a timer too, though. So just be cautious. And so after I wipe that off, I place a hot towel on my head to soften the hair. This helps with when I start using the trimmers. And so I put that on, leave it on for about 30 seconds to a minute while I get my trimmers ready. And so I oil my trimmers and spray a little alcohol on them to sanitize them, and then I trim my head. Now before I start using my trimmers, I like to put a little oil on my skin just so that my trimmers will slide across my skin smoothly. You don't have to use oil because basically it's just a dried shave because I don't use any water or shaving cream. But you can use oil, baby oil, whatever oil comes with the trimmers, your oil of choice. You can use water or you can use shaving cream. It doesn't matter. Whatever your skin is used to or won't be irritated with. It should be fine with the trimmers. So after I finish, let's get to what the finished product will look like. And as you can see, it's pretty much bald already. So you can stop there if you want, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my razor to get the rest of the hair. I will shave twice, once going with the grain and once going against the grain. With the grain simply means in the direction that your hair grows. Against the grain is against the direction that your hair grows. And so I'm applying my shaving cream, and then I'm going to use my razor to shave it off. Alright, so now once I've got my head shaved, I like to fade my sides. I wipe all this stuff off, and then I like to fade my sides and blend it into where I start going bald. And that's the part you don't have to do either. I just don't like the abrupt change from bald to hair. I like it to fade into that. And so there's not a set time that you have to do that. You can do this before you shave your head. I like to do it after I shave my head so that I can see the bald. I want to get all of my hair all the way down bald and then fade my beard into the bald part. But you know, this pretty much taster's choice. I just do it afterwards. And so some people don't do it because maybe the hair is a little wet or whatever. Just dry it off. It doesn't bother me. And so there are two ways that you can fade your beard if you so choose. You can fade your beard until it goes down to bald. One way is to use your guards and just gradually get smaller and smaller until you're using your trimmers going to the bald skin. That takes a little practice. Well, both ways will take a little practice. The way I'm doing it right here, I'm not using my trimmers. I'm not using my guards. I'm just using my trimmers. And I recommend using your guards if you're a beginner. If you're a veteran, then you already know how to fade, and you can probably fade without guards. It's light taps and flicking in and flicking out. You can get your, but if you're a beginner, don't try to do it without your guards on. You're gonna mess up. And so like I said, I like to fade that into, so it looks like it's getting darker as it goes down to my beard and lighter as it goes up to my bald head. And so let me get past this part. Okay, so after I finish fading it like I want it, I can add enhancers. You don't have to add enhancers. I do it strictly for occasions.
For occasions. Strictly occasions.
If I'm just going to work or around the house or going to the store or something like that, I don't use enhancers. I just leave it like it is. But if I want it to look real nice and sharp, then I'll use the enhancers. And this is the enhancer I use. It's called the Rich Barber, and it's basically some hair fibers. And what it does is it attaches to the hair that you already have in the light places, and it makes it look fuller. So it comes with a little clear card. You can just use your card to block off where you don't want your fibers to go, and you spray your fibers on there. It comes with a neat little pump, which I'm using right there. Now the Rich Barber hair fibers are kind of expensive, and so there are cheaper versions. You can get the Topic hair fibers. You can find those at your local beauty supply stores. And so what I do is I spray my holding spray on first, and then I come behind it and spray on my hair fibers, and I come behind it and spray on a little more holding spray. And so, okay, and so I did forget one thing. Before you put your enhancing fibers on there, what I do is I use a eyebrow pencil, the kind that's supposed to last 24 hours, and I put that on first. So I'm gonna wipe some of it. You see, I wipe some of it off, and then I use my eyebrow pencil to go up underneath it, then put the hair fibers on top of it. The reason I do that is because the hair fibers can come off even with the holding spray. If you accidentally reach up and wipe your beard or whatever, your hair fibers can wipe away. And so the permanent eyebrow pencil is a little more stable. It'll stay there, even through your little wipes. Most of the time, if you got oily skin, it's kind of hard for it to stay on. But for the most part, the eyebrow pencil is pretty good, pretty decent. So I tried to add that part in right here at the end. And so let me show you what the finished product looks like. Hang on. Well, actually, that's not the finished product. There's just one side compared to the other side. See how it's sharper on my right side, and then my left side. That's with the enhancer. Try not to apply too much enhancer because it'll look fake. But you can always wipe it off, then start over, or comb a little bit of it out so it's not too thick. And so this is me. I spray on the holding spray, then I come back and I use my little pump to pump in my hair fibers. And then once I finish doing that, let's get to the other finished product so we can see the whole thing. Hang on. Okay, so after I finish using my enhancer, I'm gonna go back over it and just do a little cleanup work. I'm gonna just cut off some of the stray hairs, shape it up a little bit, and then that'll be it. I'll compare it to my Omari Hardwick. It's not gonna look exactly like Omari Hardwick's because some men just grow a lot of hair. I don't grow a lot of hair, but I grow, a decent amount. But his beard is pretty thick. And so I'm just doing a little shaping up, make sure I get everything even, hitting all the little corners, and then after that I'll be finished. And so let me pull my Omari Hardwick picture back up so we can take a look at it and see what it looks like. Okay, as you can see, it's not exactly like Omari Hardwick's, and that's okay. You don't have to look exactly like your avatar. The avatars are there for your inspiration, not, photocopying. And so he was my inspiration for this video. It might be somebody else next time. I might cut my beard a different way. But, I kind of like this, so I might rock with this for a little while and see where it goes. But, hey, that's how it goes, And so thanks for watching. I hope you stuck around for the entire video. I hope you, gained some tips from me. And if you have some tips that you want to give me, you can leave those in the comments, and I greatly appreciate it. And so, thanks for watching. Watch some other videos, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.